Hello students, today the topic which we are going to study is transportation. Plants or animals, there are in both the two organisms, there are different types of transporting method, and that is first passive, then active, and then sometimes some ionic channels also help. So that is some, like for example potassium pump, something like this. So starting from passive, if you see, passive means that is diffusion is the main principle here. Diffusion of any substance from its higher concentration, region of higher concentration to the lower concentration till the equilibrium reaches. This is what the diffusion. So during passive diffusion, when the transportation occurs across the membrane, it may be either because of simple diffusion, as you see in this first diagram, the membrane is porous and the pores allow the materials, the substance, solutes, any three states of matter can be there from its higher concentration to the lower. This is simple diffusion. But sometimes a specific channel is there and the channels allow the particles to move. This is also diffusion, but these two diagrams are given here as a facilitated diffusion. Means the molecules, they are allowed to pass through the membrane, across the membrane, but to the given that channel only. So it means maybe lipid soluble substance, maybe we talk about the channel transport, or maybe the ion channels. These all are the simple kind of transportation, that is passive diffusion. The most important is there is no ATP is required in passive diffusion, only that diffusion pressure is enough. Now see, coming to lipid soluble substance, it was found by Overton in approx 1900, and what he observed is lipid soluble substance pass rapidly across the cell membrane according to the concentration gradient. So how they are going to? Through the specific lipid soluble substances, that is the lipid channels. But actually the main principle is again diffusion here. There are certain channel transports where what happened, the membrane, you see the membrane here, it is given here, the membrane possesses certain channels in the form of, you can say, the tunnel proteins, and what happened, mostly water soluble substance pass through it. So kind of example can be taken, aquaporins, we can take that example. So filtration, ultrafiltration, dialysis, all are good example. But you see, if a specific path along with some guarded substance is there, then it is facilitated. So these two are again that only. These are the spatial channels, but they have certain guarded substance so that to allow the molecules from its higher to lower concentration. So now what happened in ionic channels, they are specific channels. They don't allow any different kind of molecules to pass through. So they are very specific, and ions do not pass in dissolved state. This is very important to note down, children. Though ionic channels means like dissolved state through the ion channels, it means that they need some special receptors to receive them. So that is what is, instead only ions moves through them. These are the therefore known as ion channels. Most ion channels are gated one, depending upon the stimulus required for opening. Like you see here, the gates for that particular ion can be taken, like three main channels are there, that is voltage gated, then mechanical gated, and ligand gated. So means the important is only ions are allowed to pass, none of any water soluble or not insoluble substance can move. Now we talk about the facilitated, which is given here. Facilitated diffusion occurs through again a membrane protein, which is also known as permeases. Energy is not required again because it is passive, so no energy is required. And what happened, again any state of matter can be taken, means it occurs in any state of matter, but again from higher concentration to the lower till the equilibrium reaches. So this is all about the passive. But if we talk about the active transport, children, so then first thing required is ATP, because here spatial carrier proteins are involved. You can see the diagram is given here. This carrier protein molecules move 180 degrees. Suppose if this is the outside region of the cell and this is the inside area, and something is required from outside to in. So what happened? The carrier protein first they receive it, then they move 180 degree to move inside to have this projection towards inside. So this is what is shown in the second diagram. The material, the food, whatever is transported is dropped inside, and again the carrier protein has to again move 180 to go back to its normal. You see the third diagram. It means that approx 360 degree movement. So for that movement, ATP is required. This is the major difference between passive and active. But one benefit is there that it can be towards higher to lower concentration or towards lower to higher. Both the two is possible, because the process is not dependent on diffusion pressure. One more is there, sometimes we use, this is a very special, like sodium potassium exchange pump, right? This is again a very important method of transportation as the through the cell membrane. Now what happened, the cell membrane contains certain charges, that is positive and negative. That is positive for that different minerals can be there, negative like chlorine and all, positive sodium, potassium, magnesium, etc. They get exchanged according to the concentration gradient, and when they exchange, they help in the transportation. So what happened? A similar proton pump operates in chloroplast, mitochondria, and bacteria, like sodium potassium exchange pumps operates with the help of enzyme ATPase. Enzyme required to make a form ATP. It also functions as a carrier molecule. Now what happens? This enzyme hydrolyzes ATP to release energy, and then this energy brings the exchange of the ions. For every ATP molecules hydrolyzed, 3 sodium ions are pumped outward and 2 potassium ions are pumped inward. Therefore, the name is given sodium potassium exchange pump. It performs many functions, children, like maintains the positive potential on the outer side of the membrane. Then it creates a resting potential in the nerve cell, which is very important. Then what happens? It helps in urine formation as well as excretion of salt. That is also important in marine animals. You see what happened? Excretion of salts in marine animal like seagulls and then penguins. They drink seawater. So what happened? They excrete salt through nasal glands. The nasal glands have sodium potassium pump in the plasma membrane of their cells. Sodium ions are pumped out. Actively chlorine pass out passively. Nasal secretion of the two birds possess approx 1.5 to 3 times more NaCl concentration than the one present in the blood. So what happened here? One more, there are many other like functions also, like for example, unsecreted and unmetabolized excessive sodium ions, right? They are, present in the extracellular fluid, and they have a tendency to pass back into the cell. The phenomena, and what happened? Other substance combined with sodium ions as that the opposite ions, for example, glucose, amino acids in intestine, and we know that this phenomena is known as secondary active transport as compared to sodium and potassium. Means sodium and potassium, they are exchanging, and along with that, sometimes some other biomolecules also, they exchange side by side along with them. So this is one more active transportation is going side by side along with this main sodium potassium exchange pump. So there are other examples also, like calcium pump. You can see in RBCs, muscles, then potassium pump, chlorine pump, these all exchange. Then hydrogen, potassium hydrogen exchange pump you can see in guard cells. So overall conclusion is transportation, whether we talk about plant or animal, is possible either through number one passive, or through active, or through with the help of certain exchange, that is the exchange pump system, certain pump system.